Hi everyone, let's do a good old-fashioned recap, Leo recap, which is what all my videos are, but you guys keep asking for Leo recaps. Let's get started with all the stuff that's happening over in France that has to do with, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to it very much this week, but there was who took a bunch of people hostage inside of a grocery store. A 25-year-old man in France started his day off the other day by hijacking a person, killing that person, going over to where some police officers were jogging, shooting one of the police officers in the shoulder, driving over to a supermarket, and taking over 50 people hostage. He took all the hostages because he wanted the release of a non who was partly responsible for the in November that killed over 130 people in Paris. He ended up killing 2 of the hostages and wounding 16 more before police stormed the building and shot him dead. It's not common for me to talk about police officers who are not American, but the reason I wanted to bring this up is because one of the people that he killed inside of the supermarket was a police officer who swapped himself for one of the people who were being held hostage. He went in and took the place of one of the people who was being held hostage, knowing that he was probably going to die. The officer who I'm talking about who traded his life for one of the hostages is 44-year-old Lieutenant Colonel Arnaud Beltrame. Lieutenant Colonel Beltrame was part of the Gendarmerie Nationale, which is like one of France's national police services. Early on in his career, he was part of the elite counterterrorism unit GSIGN. Probably one of the most recognizable places that you've heard about them from is CSGO. They're one of the counterterrorist units in CSGO. He was deployed to Iraq in 2005 with the GSIGN. He was awarded the Cross of Military Valor then. Reports state that in 2017, he was named Deputy Chief of the Gendarmerie Nationale in the French region of where the started the whole shooting spree. Next up, we're going to talk about a person who I dedicated an entire video that you can watch right here to, NFL player Michael Bennett. You may remember Mr. Bennett, who claimed that the Las Vegas Police Department was racially profiling him during a fake active shooter situation where he was detained for 10 minutes. He wrote this big letter, put it on Twitter, saying that the Las Vegas Police Department were just a bunch of racists. Even though, as you can see in the video that I made about him, the Las Vegas Police Department, including several black officers who were in the stack, went past about 100 other black dudes. Mr. Bennett is now in the news this week after being indicted for injuring a 66-year-old paraplegic woman. This incident happened at the Super Bowl last year after Mr. Bennett tried to force his way onto the field after the Patriots won. Reports state that when stopped by security, the 6'4", 274-pound NFL defensive lineman pushed through the locked doors, then shoved security, which included 2 women. One of the women was 66 years old, paralyzed from her chest down. She claims Bennett pushed her so hard she sprained her shoulder. An officer tried to help, but Bennett blew him off too. Bennett said, "Fuck you," and walked past the officer onto the field. He then stated, "Y'all must know who I am, and I can own this motherfucker. I'm going onto the field whether you like it or not." He has been charged with injury to the elderly and could face up to 10 years in prison. Mr. Bennett's quite the character, huh? It looks like protests have been going on for a few days now out in Sacramento following the Stephen Clark shooting. We talked about those in my live video the other day. You can go check that out right here. But video is starting to circulate the internet showing protesters getting a little violent. A video was released yesterday showing a woman who didn't have anything to do with Stephen Clark or the officers or the shooting or the protest. She just wanted to probably get home. Next up, I just wanted to show you a picture of a short-barreled Bork Bork Nom Nom. Aww. Here's a question for you fine people in the comments below. Do short-barreled Bark Barks infringe on our rights? Should they be banned along with assault weapons? Speaking of, have you seen where the students at the high school in Florida are now having to wear clear backpacks and ID cards? Students down there are mad because they say that infringes on their rights.
It's unnecessary, it's embarrassing for a lot of the students, and it makes them feel isolated and separated from the rest of American school culture, where they're having essentially their First Amendment rights infringed upon because they can't freely wear whatever backpack they want, regardless of what it is. It has to be a clear backpack.
Some students were quoted with saying, "Why are you punishing us for the actions of one person?" Oh, what else do we have? Another smoking hot teacher was caught sleeping with a 13-year-old. 27-year-old Brittany Zamora, who was married and was a very well-respected teacher, was caught with one of her students. Seems like a pretty common theme these days. She's been charged with molesting a child, sexual conduct of the minor, and furnishing harmful material. What else? What else? What else? A mother in Gwinnett County, Georgia, wanted to prove to her kids that God is real, so she drove her SUV full speed into a pole. Her logic to her children were, God will protect us. I'll prove to you he's real. Fortunately, no one was hurt in the incident. It stated that she told her 5- and 7-year-old to put on their seatbelts before she crashed into the pole. I'm glad she told them that, but if she was trying to prove a point to them that God will protect them, why did she tell them to put on their seatbelts? She remains in jail on a $22,000 bond with 2 charges of child cruelty against her. Last thing that we're going to take a look at is a video of a man who didn't know it was illegal to impersonate a federal officer. Guess where the suspect, 61-year-old John O'Grady, is from? Oh, that's right. Florida man. Mr. O'Grady had stolen a cell phone from a Best Buy and then returned a few days later where security recognized him as the guy who stole the cell phone. They called the police showed up, and it turns out Mr. O'Grady had a federal marshal's badge on his hip along with a BB gun in a holster. He told police officers that he was a federal marshal, which wasn't very true.
Is he a law enforcement officer? How'd you get here? Do you have any weapons on you, sir?
Yes.
Okay, where's it at?
On my hip.
Okay, so we thought. Are you a police officer?
I'm not. No.
Okay, all right. What are you?
A federal marshal.
Okay, all right, that's what we had to ask.
No.
Okay. Just, we don't want you reaching for anything.
I'm not reaching for anything.
If you're a federal marshal, you understand what we're doing, right?
Absolutely. Just.
You have your federal marshal ID?
No.
So you're carrying a weapon with no ID on you?
No. Because I just stepped out of my house to get this character.
You have a number we can call for your supervisor?
No.
Okay. I got to take this for you just for our safety.
Handcuff him.
For what?
Until we figure out what's going on. You have a weapon. You have no ID on you.
It's not a real weapon.
You're carrying a fake weapon.
Yeah. And you're a federal marshal.
No. He's got a little badge.
Are you not?
No.
Congratulations. You're just impersonating a police officer. That's a federal offense. Oh, yeah. Congratulations. That's a felony.
Look it. I just.
Good eye, Alex.
Set of keys.
What's the story? Why are you carrying around a fake gun?
I'm a limousine driver, and
I thought you were a federal marshal.
Hey, here, you've got a badge that says U.S. Marshal. You're claiming to be U.S. Marshals. You have a badge. What does that say on it?
Marshal.
So why are we carrying around fake stuff? You know it's illegal.
No, I didn't know it was illegal.
Yes, you are displaying yourself as a law enforcement officer.
No, I'm not.
We just asked you, are you in law enforcement? You said, yes, I'm a U.S. Marshal. That's illegal. That's a felony. Oh, absolutely not. We don't play around with this.
He said, I didn't know it was illegal to do this. He was arrested and, of course, charged with impersonating a police officer and shoplifting. By the way, guys, it's illegal to impersonate a police officer. Idiot. That is all I have for you today, everyone. We're going to be doing the cooking stream in a bit at twitch.tv/donutoperator. Use your Amazon Prime subscription thingy to subscribe to me for free. We're going to be making tacos, having some beers. It's going to be a good time. I hope your weekend is going well, and I want you all to please have a fantastic day.
Alright guys, so my dad here, we're at this place to eat at. I forgot its name, but yeah, so he's gonna try this burger called the Carolina Burger. So let's see how it tastes for my dad.
Okay. All right, John. All right. Carolina Burger. All right, John. You're gonna be in this too, huh?
Yes.
Here we go. All right. It's a big, thick burger.
That's a yes he likes? Okay.
Oh, that is good.
1 to 10, how did you like it?
This is a solid 10 burger.
Yeah. Okay. Cute.
Yep.
How are your nachos?
I'll give them an 8.
An 8? John has 8 nachos. I don't know, they're pretty basic. I give them a 4. Burger is a good 10 though. This is a thick burger.
These nachos are
Look at Josh's.
Josh's?
Look at Josh's.
These are supposed to be. That's some good shit. Yeah,
I'll give that a 20.
20. Josh has 20 nachos.